Welcome to Nerd Church. We are back in it, starting the session down 2 players, but I'm told we'll have a rock gnome later. As a reminder, because I needed to remind myself with the YouTube recording, and I laughed aloud several times as I was listening back to it because last time we were together, Air renamed the son of a young noble, a young son of a noble, Dunglicker Kuma. You all defeated a quite powerful fire elemental who had been cut loose of its control in a summoning class. You were offered a reward from the High Mudaris Balal for your help in protecting the students. And you have not yet visited him to claim said reward. And then you also spent some time purchasing spurt gear from Murph Turkle in Murph Turkle's third-party unlicensed memorabilia store. Once you made contact with Murph and spent some time in the back room, Murph revealed a slightly different personality and provided you some information. You were directed by Murph to a hedge witch known as Shota for help in removing your tracking curses, I should say, the ones that are on 2 of you. And he gave you a map that could guide you to Shota's residence. Shota, you were told, lives on the verge of the wound. You're now closer to the northern edge of the wound, or I guess northeastern edge, probably, than where you were previously when you were returning from Teshiar. But it is not a long journey, according to the map, probably just a couple days, depending on how difficult your journey through the wilderness is. He did make it quite clear that while Shota is an acquaintance and she has helped others in the past, that she will demand a price for her services and that her prices rarely are paid in gold. So she will likely be asking for some kind of favor or service. And he encourages you to deal cautiously with the hedge witch when and if you decide to go visit. And then more broadly, out in the world, Upido has not been seen, at least to your knowledge, at this point, but it has been some time. I can tell you that it has been now 16 days since you released Upido from her ancient prison. But so far, at least for you, not a peep. But that's, as a reminder, why you journeyed up here, is to do some research and learn more about Upido's past and ways that you might be able to help put this powerful creature back, or perhaps destroy it. You had a couple things hanging. I know Potom was wanting to have a little more conversation with Professor Omar Sendak. I'm not entirely sure what he wants to talk about with Professor Sendak, but that was mentioned at the end of our last episode. And then, as I said, collecting the reward from Balal. It's up to you to decide, I guess, if you have gathered enough information here from the library and the archives to feel satisfied with your trip up here to the Wizards College, or if there's more that you want to accomplish here before I shouldn't assume your plan, whether you're heading back to Nantong or journeying off in a different direction. So High Mudaris Arcturus Bilal is the essentially the dean of the school. Yeah, very good. Well, your journey over there is simple at this point. You've gotten to know the campus fairly well and can make your way around. When you arrive at the offices, Bilal's secretary waves you through and mentions that he has been expecting you, that he's just been at work on some administrative cleanup from the incident earlier today, probably insurance forms or letters to parents letting them know that their children are alive and well. And when you enter, right, when you enter the room, he stands up and sort of grandly gestures and greets you. Ah, my friends, you uh, are a true blessing on this day. I do not know how the fates were looking out for us, that you happened to be visiting our campus, right place, right time. I'm so pleased and so grateful for everything that you've done. Um, I I hope and assume that you are here to discuss the reward that I mentioned. Uh, Excellent. Well, you are most deserving. Um, the value of the service that you provide, obviously, the lives of our students are priceless. But of course, um, it's hard to place a value on priceless. But I do want to reward you generously. So let me say this: I would offer you two rewards. First and foremost, uh, my uh, personal indebtedness to you. So should you in the future need a favor or support in some way, uh, please know that I am at your disposal. Perhaps a letter of recommendation could open the door to another library or archive in some place, or perhaps my endorsement could clear the path for you to uh, make a connection that is important to you. If I can be of service to you, please call on me. But second, a more tangible reward I also believe is appropriate. And at this point, he reaches down into one of his desk drawers and he pulls out uh, a pretty good sized pouch and he tosses it on the desk in front of Air. And it makes a very satisfying clinking and thud as it lands. Um, and as you pick it up, you're probably not the kind of person that opens it and counts every single gold piece in there, but you've go. It was pretty good at estimating, yeah, I think by weight. You are pretty confident there are about 400 gold pieces in this pouch, um, and there's an interesting clink that there's not. It's not just gold in this pouch, but it's about 400 gold weight. It feels to you. Ah, yes. I had there's a couple of small gems in the pouch as well. These are uh, still of great value to a jeweler, perhaps, but these are cast-offs from our enchanting department. They cannot be used for enchantment. So at this point, we would typically resell them to a jeweler. But again, they yes, they if you have the right connections, I'm sure you can turn those into liquid currency quite easily. Uh, but again, we are quite grateful. So, Air, you can add to your inventory 400 gold pieces and two gems, each worth 50 gold pieces. Chalcedony is the name of the gem. I don't really know what chalcedony looks like. But let's see. Oh, cool. Kind of sort of that. Oh, nice. Opal kind of a vibe, or agate. Anyway, yeah, some light blue chalcedony stones, which you, with your vast experience, estimate to be worth 50 gold each. Yep. And with that, he makes his way around and he vigorously shakes all four of your hands, and sort of he's a charming guy and sort of he's clearly spent a lot of time in administration, and so in a very polite but firm way, he shakes your hand as he escorts you to the door and gets you out of his office. So you get your reward and suddenly find yourself kind of head spun around, but standing outside his office in front of the secretary. Not since fighting the elemental, no. Sure. Yeah, the only thing is, again, Potham had mentioned he wanted to talk to Professor Sendak, but let me say, um, if we want, when Alex joins later, if we want to go back and like do a flashback to the conversation he has, I'm fine with that as long as he doesn't have something ridiculous planned that is like going to change the course of the future. But if he's looking to have a discussion, I think we could just say that happens, and flash back to it later. Yeah, I mean, certainly this is a place. I mean, that's very possible. So, um, there's a couple options for you in a town like this. This is a college town, so there are certainly shops that cater to students and out of towners, um, that sell magical items that might be useful for them. So if there's several magical component shops for students who are studying, and spell books, scrolls, things of that nature. In those shops, they are largely basics. There's not like crazy high-end stuff in there. It's the equivalent of the UW-Madison bookstore kind of thing. And then, like I said, there are quite a few travelers that come through here, and traders and things. So there is also a shop, or maybe not a shop as much as a storefront, that is operated by. Where's my NPC list? Remember this dude's name. Operated by Morana. By good friend Morana. Elam Morana. Yeah. So he has a storefront up here, out of which he sells some things. And then the other angle here that you would have probably picked up in your conversations up to this point pretty easily is that each of the professors here also, a lot of them have side hustles, right? Yeah. Well, I mean, I honestly think about this a lot. Yeah. I think of this a lot like in real higher ed, where like you're publishing textbooks and you're working with a group of students, and then that's my patent, and we're going to patent this device, and so there's that kind of stuff that goes on. So the challenge there is what they have available or what they're willing to do or part with. Um, it's much more hit or miss, like, uh, and you have no idea. Like you would have to really go do some hunting and make introductions and things like that. So basic ass magic store for students, like intro to magic bookstore sort of deal. Well, I mean, these are wizarding students at a wizard college, so I don't know about parlor tricks, but there's a store that proffers the basics for them. You're going to find components, spell books, scrolls, maybe a couple simple things, potions and things like that. Uh, Undoubtedly, there are people here who could enchant things for you if you wanted. Enchantment is very expensive and takes a lot of time. Okay. Yep. Sure. Um, mhm. Um, let's see. So, yeah. So, we can fast forward through a little of this kind of conversation, um, without having to like dig too deeply in. So, um, I would say that unless you really go hunting in this town and invest a lot of time, um, there are no the couple of storefronts that you visit do not have an enchanted half plate. Just got it. So you don't see one on the shelf, let's say. But when you bring up this discussion that you'd like to imbue this plate with more, um, the the ballpark quotes you're getting are around 2,500 to 3,000 gold pieces. And the time estimates to do the enchantment are running in the weeks. Yep. Her bottomless coin pouch. Not just yet. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, enchanting is pricey. Yeah. So let's see. Here's some things I think here's some things I think you find pretty easily. So there are a number of um, potions that are available at the student store designed to help keep students from dying while they're studying magic. So potions of healing in a very similar vein to or similar price point to what Murph was unloading them for. Um, Potions of water breathing, um, potions that offer resistance to different kinds of damage, fire resistance, poison resistance, things like that. Um, there is in that same store a potion of heroism, which gives you temporary hit points that last for an hour, as well as the effect of a bless spell, like the equivalent of a bless. So you get a +4 you get to roll a 1d4 on top of any of your attacks, and it's a great potion. Yeah.
Oh, geez. Okay. No amulets or rings or anything like that matter.
So this is where the selection gets more limited. Um, so I'm trying to find a price point for this because I do think it's likely that something like a ring of protection would be not common, but like available, um, with a bunch of students running around. Um, I don't know why these lists are so incomplete, but
Yeah. I get it's a good solution about generating item lists that in stores and stuff.
yeah. So the ring of protection is around, but also well out of your price range. Uh, they're asking $37.50
Oh my god.
for for a ring of protection.
Wow.
Um,
Negotiate my loan here or something.
so
That's a lot of money.
what you do find that surprises you with its price, I will say. It's still not inexpensive, but one of these merchants, and it's actually, I think it's why are these NPCs? Marana. Um, at Marana's storefront, there is a ring of mind shielding available, and it is priced at 850 gold. The ring of mind shielding, you are told, offers a particular kind of protection. It prevents other creatures from reading your thoughts, knowing whether or not you're lying, knowing your alignment, or knowing your creature type. Um, you can and creatures can only communicate with you telepathically if you allow it. It is a pretty cool ring. Yeah. I mean, what I think you discover after some shopping is what Air probably would have known somewhat already. Well, yes, but also that things that carry a permanent enchantment are like 10x more expensive than your scrolls or potions or things like that.
There is incentive for this. That's right. He's going to ask if he can negotiate,
Okay.
and he offers how much off would the store give her? She offers
Hmm. Well, let's see.
I promise I won't waste
That's all right.
This is Moran, right?
This is Marana's shop. He's not here, but let's see. Mind Spike is a second level divination spell. They would buy that scroll off you for 150 gold.
Okay. Okay. So if Air offers 440 gold plus the scroll, and if you complete the rest in credit, Marana.
Um, hmm.
If you name drop Marana,
Make a persuasion check on this one. I'm not giving you advantage on it, but I will allow you to make a persuasion check. This person is not Marana, but you do carry a bit of a reputation in town right now. Uh, no, they're not going to extend you. They're not going to extend you
Oh,
credit. Um,
okay. Well,
so I think what it comes down to is if you want this, you're close. But if you're going to borrow money, I think it's going to be from your companions.
to the silk.
Okay. They'll pay you 150 gold pieces for that.
Womp
Hey,
womp. Oh well, makes sense.
you're cashing up. It's good.
I haven't bought it. I, no, I,
You
yeah,
just sold some loot.
yeah, sold this.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, yeah, Air's fine. I mean, she's happy to hand off the um the 300 gold that's not hers. I'm sorry, what, Jones? Oh no. And then she's like, oh right, and she told me to go for
Oh yeah.
Or do you
Oh, I
just
can
want to
do
take
that.
it?
Sure.
Oh, we can, yeah, we can do that. Just,
Two.
just, just 2 gems worth 50 gold pieces a piece.
That's right.
400 gold was distributed, and I want to be 2 gems, but Air it's gonna take 100 of it. Yeah,
Just don't look at me. That's up to you guys.
yeah,
You guys decide.
yeah. Well, I'm looking at you only because you don't want to add stuff together.
All right. So I'm adding 100 gold to Potom and Pando.
Okay. I mean, do I think there's Does Freya just kind of push the issue a little bit, and then Eric gives up the rest of it? So yeah, 100, and then do you want to take the 100 plus the gems? Hold on, yeah. Well, I think that's the implication is that there's nothing close to Yeah, you take the gems. I remove them. Right.
Oh, I see.
Or wait, well let's see. Oh, they're not safe, so that's not magic shops. Because already your gems are nice, so they'll
Yeah. Yeah. You could unload them in this
but
town,
they'll
but
undervalue
probably
it.
not at 50.
Right.
Probably not at 50 gold because everybody here wants to use them for enchantment. All right. Potom has his money. And Pando.
Still can't.
Man, Pando has so much money.
How much do you have?
It's wild. I don't think I should say.
What? He's not buying?
No.
Okay.
She has vast quantities of
He's
money.
done?
So much money.
Air is dirt.
She- she's swimming in it.
Is she just kind of like open up she's like a loan shark or something?
I don't know. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe she's got plans.
Already.
All right, very good. Anything else you want to do in town, or is it time to head out towards Shota's place?
The air is good. The head.
That's up to you. So it is. I mean, it's afternoon at this point. So if you're gonna like go back to an inn, have a sleep, that's totally fine. I think
Yeah.
I feel confident that Pando will happily cover the cost of rooms for the evening out of her portion. She just carries it in one hand all the time. Clink, clink, clink down the street. Almost. All right, so she's gonna drop 8 silver on your rooms and meals. You guys will all get a long rest. I'll give her a long rest as well. And Potom a long rest. Okay. Good to know. 150. Okay. Got it. When you place money in the box, it pleasantly vibrates, but then the lid pops open again. And you see an exact copy of the little note that was left in there previously that you have ignored. Um, I think so. Or I texted, I don't remember.
The problem is that it remained relevant over too many
Yes.
sessions.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, that's I don't know. If you don't easily find it, let me know and I will recreate it. But yeah, it is encouraging you to gather some information that would be embarrassing to a person of influence. Um,
I think what threw me off is
oh, okay.
I think what you said, it sounded like a quest.
Got it.
When you run your road, I think
Yeah.
you will dig up a guy. Like you would like.
Got it. Yeah. Right. Yes. So I think maybe it's rephrased here. Like to get back into good standing, you need to do this. It's something juicy. I need some spill the tea. Give me something useful.
I like to think
Go dig up some dirt. Spill the tea. That was a lot of that. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
All right. Okay, excellent. So you all get a long rest. Oh, I was giving Potom his long rest. That's what I was doing. And the next morning, you are setting off. Yeah. It's been 17 days since she was released.
Hey, no news is good news though.
Yeah, it's fine. It's probably fine. All right. Both your friends are long rested.
Great.
I think, if my memory serves me, you all walked to the Maib Sahir. Did you take your crickets? Oh yes, you took your crickets, but you stayed with the caravan. Got it. Okay, well then you are in possession of transportation, which will make this journey go a little faster. The map that was provided to you, that Murph provided to you, takes you out of the western gate of the Maib Sihir uh, and west along the road for about a day, at which point you turn south out into the wilderness. And there's a trail that you hope to be able to follow at that point. I mean, the map is fairly simple, but there's a landmark, a large split stone off to the side of the road that he has marked on the map. At which point you are meant to turn south and essentially head nearly due south until you come upon the residence of Shota. Um, you didn't get a ton of explanation of the map, but Shota's residence, in addition to being marked by an X, uh, is surrounded by what you would interpret, markings that you would interpret as maybe marshland. A lot like little reeds, it looks like, are drawn on there. And then something that is kind of hard to translate, which is it looks like someone drew very childish looking clouds around the around the perimeter of the of Shota's residence, where the path leads. Um, you were told that it is approximately a 3-day journey in total. So a day on the road, followed by a couple days journey south into the wound or into the wilderness, approaching the wound. Shota does not live in the wound. She lives on the verge. Yes. Um, yeah. So off you go. The morning of day 18, you head out onto the road. Riding on your crickets, you make good time. I'm going to ask one of you to roll a luck roll just to see how the day shapes up. A 4, okay. And then, Air, why don't you make a perception check as you sort of keep an eye out?
16.
Okay. Um, uh, so I think this day's journey is a little slow because the rains out in this way recently have left the road very muddy and hard to travel. Now, your crickets can handle it pretty well. They're good at making their way through marshland and things like that. But not infrequently, you end up stopping to like help clear a merchant wagon that's, you know, stuck in the mud or having to leave the road and actually go out into the woods a little bit to make your way around a flooded out area. Um, so it's slow moving. Um, and late in the day, not uh, you've not come across the split stone yet, and it is not yet nighttime. But late in the day, you see down the road in the distance, um, through the sort of what now is sort of a light misting of rain. It's just kind of gross outside. Slogging up the trail, maybe 400 yards ahead of you, um, you see 5 or perhaps 6 people, it's hard to tell from this distance, who are looking very bedraggled and moving very slowly in your direction. 2 of them are pulling a hand cart behind them, and it looks like there's possibly a person in that hand cart. From this distance, it's hard to see, but Air, you make out uh, what you think is 6 figures, one of them being pulled in a hand cart. Um, are you going to approach or wait for them to approach? Okay. So, yeah, so as you get closer, you see these people are in rough shape. Several of them are badly wounded. There are bloody bandages wrapped around foreheads and arms. Some of them are limping. Uh, two of the individuals, and they're covered in mud as well. The two individuals who are pulling the hand cart, one man and one woman, are the least injured of the group, it appears. But it is obvious to you that in the back of the handcart there is a very badly wounded child, probably 10 to 12 years old.
Oh, nice.
No, no. No, like laying on straw in a hand pulled cart. wrapped up in all kinds of bandages. Yeah. Um, and when they see you, when they finally look up, you're actually a lot closer than you expected by the time they look up. And there's sort of a general um, shock, and but they don't. None of them move very quickly away. They're clearly afraid, and they just sort of come to a stop in the road about 40, 50 feet from you and huddle together.
Yeah. Aaron's not really she doesn't have any healing ability. She doesn't buy potions. She doesn't learn potions. Okay. Greetings.
I will remind you also that Potom has cure wounds,
Right.
um, and maybe
I
Pando.
believe so. Both of our healers are not with us.
Yeah, they both have cure wounds, so they would have. And Pando also has healing word, so they have some healing spells.
They're with us.
In the game, yeah, in the game they're here. That's right. Carry them. We carry them always. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see.
Don't mind her.
Yeah. Um, the the woman who's helping to pull the hand cart puts her hand on the man's arm next to her, and they both sort of gently set the cart handles down. And she steps forward. You can see she's got a cut down the side of her head near her ear that is not actively bleeding anymore, but clearly there were no bandages left for her. Maybe a minor wound compared to the rest of this group. The rest of the group huddles back, clearly still on edge, but she steps forward and she says, uh, I'm sorry. We have been traveling for 2, perhaps 3 days now. We're all exhausted, uh, and as you can see, wounded, and we've lost we've lost everything. They they came out of the wound, we think, uh, but they came in the middle of the day like nothing we've ever seen before. There were swarms of them, and they tore our people to shreds. They were they looked like they looked like men, but twisted and bestial, and they had their fingernails were long. And at this point, some of the people in the crowd or in the group start to cry and feel kind of overwhelmed. And she sort of starts to lock up, and the man steps up next to her and he says, "Ghouls, I think. They were undead, to be certain. They paused long enough to devour some of our friends and neighbors, which is the only reason we were able to escape. We just ran as fast as we could. This cart was on the outskirts of one of the outer farms. We gathered as many people together as we could, but there was no fighting them. There were 1, 2 dozen. It's hard to say. We we live in a small area in the wilderness, a hunting town, some small gardens. We've subsisted for a long time. We're not helpless, but we've never seen attacks come out of the wound in the middle of the day. At night, we locked down the village. Our best hunters patrolled to keep us safe. No one was prepared in the light of day for anything like this. They tore through us. But please." They step back to the side, and you see this is a girl, uh, Most of her face is covered in bandages at this point, but you see a little bit of blonde hair peeking out of the top, very curly.
Sorry,
Um,
did we mention what species they are?
these are human.
They're all human.
Yeah, everybody here is human. Um, so anyway, and she's wearing a very simple, like cloth dress, spattered in mud, soaking wet from the rain, uh, blood stains over a lot of it. As you look a little closer, well, somebody can make a medicine check if they want, or you could ask one of your absent companions to do that.
Sure. Sounds like either of them.
Bottom's a +1, Pando's a +5.
Okay.
So, all right, Pando comes up and takes a close look. It's a 12.
Solid.
Not
Above
too
average.
bad. Above average, yeah. Um, no, that was total. So she takes a close look over the girl and says, she in a quiet voice, she leans over to you, Freya, and says, "She won't make it to the Mayusa here if we don't do something." And at that point, she's already turning around and casting Cure Wounds on this girl. Yeah. Um, so use that. Oops. Oh, I. Oh, that's a great roll on her healing spell. So she heals this girl for 12. She does not have 12 health. No. So as Pando kind of spreads her hands over the child's body, you see sort of a green glow spread from her hands, and you actually see little tendrils of vine almost, or like seedlings, start to pop up from her wet clothing in different places. Um, and probably about 10 seconds later, the girl's one eye that's not covered with a bandage um, blinks open, and she looks up at the two adults next to Pando and says, "Mama," and jumps out of the handcart. Her wounds are gone. She's still bedraggled, certainly, but they pull the bandages off and wrap her in a big hug, and she is well, fully healed at this point. Well, she's a commoner, so she probably had and a child. Yeah, probably 4 hit points, three to 5 hit points, but probably 3. Yeah. Um, at this point, several of the others push forward in Pando's direction and start asking for help. Yeah, well, there are 5 other people here who are injured to different extents. I mean, she's got she's got 3 more first level spells, 3 second level spells, and the third level spell. She could burn them all if you want.
She will heal. She would heal. Yeah. She would heal all of them. Maybe not. I don't think she would use all of them. Provide pretty much all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with you. So what I'm gonna do is say yeah. I think what Panda would likely do here is use 3 first level spell slots to heal the most badly wounded people, and then the rest you all would use bandages and help them with some first aid and clean them up a little bit. And by the time this is all done, this group looks completely different than yeah. You they're your new adventuring party. Um, yeah, but you set them. It is a cool world out there, but you've set them on the right track, and they're in much better shape. As Pando is kind of making the rounds and Potam's probably helping here and there, the the two what seemed to be kind of leaders of the group describe to you a little bit more the situation. So their village, which, as I said, was just more of a hunting town out um, in the wilderness near the wound, had about, be patient please, had about 50 people at any given time, and 2 days ago was wiped out by this pack of ghouls that came rushing through. They'd never encountered anything like that. Different beasts and things have come out of the wound at times, but this, not swarms or packs of things, right? Maybe a lone creature that escapes the wound and comes in sort of wild. The wound is a
little bit of a mystery.
something that the party is still trying to figure out, but it's a place out in the wilderness where there's a very dark energy and things are a little twisted, perhaps.
Air asks me that.
Yeah, so his best guess is somewhere between 1 and 2 dozen. So he said they fought some, certainly, and there were some were slain, but the, let's say, 20-ish ghouls wiped out most of the village very quickly. And again, this happened about 2 days ago. Their village is probably 2 days based on your map, probably 2 days away from Shota's residence, further to the west than Shota's.
2 days from.
Yeah, but to the west. So
further.
so if you imagine, yeah, so if you imagine this is the road, you're coming from the Maib here. There's the You've been traveling the road this way, and we're meant to turn south for several days to get to Shota's, which is down here. Their village, it seems, is over here somewhere. So they fled up, knowing that the road was north of them. They fled up to the road, whereas you're meaning to cut down south earlier.
Any pieces I can
So I think they are convinced that everyone was wiped out, that they were the only ones to escape, although they do admit that in the chaos, maybe other small groups managed to escape the village and headed in different directions. But the only reason they were able to get away is that many of the ghouls stopped to eat what they had killed, basically. Yeah, they have
no newcomers in town.
No. No, this totally came out of the blue for them. They've been accustomed over the years to occasional attacks in the middle of the night by different troubling creatures, but this is way outside anything of their experience, and there was not like some weird happening in the village. Just a just a big just a big force coming out of the wound. So I think the woman mentions that all the villagers are aware of Shota. They don't approach her most of the time. I would describe it. I would describe it more as a healthy respect. So she tells you that Shota has helped some in the village from time to time, though her help is expensive. Yeah, and they're a little superstitious. They Anytime someone does approach Shota's residence, they come back pretty freaked out. Sometimes they still get the help they were looking for, but um, she's described to you as an unsettling presence. All right, let me hit pause for just a second. Okay, so yeah, that's about all the information that these folks have. they give you enough of a description of where their village is located that you feel reasonably confident you could make your way there if you wanted to investigate. Um, but they are eager to continue their journey and get to what they see as the safety of the Maib, um, which they realize they won't make it to by dark tonight, but they are gonna just keep walking, especially now that you've sort of revitalized them. They're not planning to take any further breaks.
Okay. Sure. I mean, you know, she's always willing to get another trophy.
All right, well, as we now realize that we were recording with the wrong microphone and so only picked up my voice this whole time, as a quick reminder, up to this point, y'all picked up a reward at the Maib Sahir from Arcturus Balal. You cashed in your Mind Spike scroll to have a little extra money, drop that money in the box, and then you all set off on this journey originally to go see Shota. But on the way, encountered this group of fleeing peasants, essentially, who have now given you some information about where their village is and have told you as much as they could about the ghoul attack that was the cause of their flight.
The other thing that I think too is that maybe Shota would have some insight into what's going on. You know, especially if she lives on the edge of the wound. She's a witch and lives on the edge of the wound. Maybe she would have some. Maybe she would be able to give us some information, possibly even about Upido. Maybe she would know something about Upido,
right,
or the changes that have been happening.
So is that? Are you suggesting a change in the order of operations here, or?
Well, we were heading to Shota. And then we were just talking about possibly just going and investigating where the ghouls are. But I think it's still probably a good idea to go to Shota.
Shota first?
First, yeah. And
okay.
Let's just get... She's on the edge of the wound anyway. That just may be a symptom. If Upido's in the wound and she's sending this stuff out, any way we go into the wound is kind of going into the source. We have got to find Upido.
Okay.
Yeah. Shota.
Okay.
Would either of our other companions want to be present for? I'm trying to think of if they've said anything. If Courtney had something
for Shota,
yeah, for specifically about Shota. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, I was just double checking if we don't. I don't want to like run into something they wanted to be a part of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Potom was the one who was most concerned about you all getting your curse trackers removed.
Yeah, he has been even more than us with the trackers out. But yeah,
wants the flexibility to be able to bail. And I feel like Pando, Pando not so subtly has a great curiosity about the wound.
Right.
Yeah.
But not Shota, specifically the wound. Yeah.
Right.
Okay. We can do that then.
Okay. So as you wave goodbye to the party that you helped to heal, you continue along the road, and by about the time that the sun is starting to set, in front of you, you come upon this split stone landmark, and between the sort of V-shaped split, it looks like it looks like a very large stone pillar, not a constructed stone pillar, but just a large stone monolith, natural, cracked all the way down the middle and just fell to the two sides. So it sort of leaves a very obvious V here. And you can see right through the V that a simple path, maybe nothing more than a slightly large game path, continues south, heading into the wilderness. But the sun is pretty close to setting, so this could either be a place to set up camp for the night, or you can continue on into the evening.
Yeah. Let's just set up camp here. It looks a little bit sheltered, and why not? You know, especially if weird things are coming out of the... What's that?
Every minute we waste, though.
That is true.
Pedo gets stronger.
That is true.
But Air's fine with it, whatever. With either.
Let's just do a night.
Okay. All right, so you post up for the evening, and the evening is uneventful. You rest. You've already had your long rest, so you don't need to worry about that. But you...
But Pando has now...
But now...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point. You post up around a sort of a cheery campfire, make a travel meal, feed your crickets, and you rise with the dawn, ready to continue your way south. It has now been 18 days since Upito's release, and I need to roll some dice. There we go. So, because I've been behind on this. Okay. Ooh. Okay. That's 2, 3, and 4. Lucky. Okay.
We're never lucky.
We're rarely lucky.
All right, so in the morning you head off. You're heading south into the wilderness. So this time, Air, I'd like you to roll the luck die.
Bet.
And somebody roll for perception.
I can never read this one.
11.
11?
9.
And 9. Okay. The first day heading into the wilderness is your pretty typical hike in the woods. The rain has passed. It is approaching now late summer here on the mainland, and it heats up pretty good, but luckily the sun sort of bakes the muddy trail to the point where it's dry and easy to travel. You have enough tree cover back here that you're not really overheated as you journey, and your crickets are very happy in this area. They do fine in this space, though it's a little drier than where they come from. And you make decent time. You do see some different wildlife, and Pando is pretty fascinated by some of the different ecosystems and habitats that you are moving through now. This area of the world where you find yourself is, on the other side of the wound, is surprisingly different from the wilderness you were exploring down by Nantong. That was much more humid, jungle, marshy kind of vibe, largely because you spent most of your time along the river. But really everything south of the wound down there felt a lot like that. More like mountainous jungle kind of a vibe north of the river. But here on the north side of the wound, it is starkly different. So while you are still moving through what you would think of as woods, the trees here are different. It is much more arid. There's not a lot of humidity. There's a lot of tall grasses through here. You go through patches of heavy forested and then sort of glades of waist-high grasses that open up in front of you in different times. And the path sort of meanders through all of them. The only thing that you see during the course of your journey that, isn't a danger, but it kind of catches you by surprise, is a group of wild hogs kind of cross your path in one of those tall grassy glades, and one of them, a big male boar, sort of faces you and postures aggressively, but when you just sort of stay on your crickets and don't move for a few minutes,
You try to look bigger.
he kind of snorts and then marches back off into the tall grasses after his little group.
Hey, isn't that a good sign that money could come our way?
Is it?
That's it's like the boar statue in Florence.
Oh, yeah.
At the merchants, you rub the
Might be
boar
nice.
snout and for good
But
luck
you
and money.
Gotta chase this boar if you want to rub his snout.
Yeah, I don't think.
I think we're good.
No, fine. It's fine.
So, but Pando seems delighted by all of this. She's wide-eyed as she takes in sort of this area of the wild and how different it looks from other places that she's been. But you don't run into any trouble over the course of this day. You end the day sort of hot and dusty and sweaty, but You believe you're about a day out from Shota's residence as the sun starts to set among the trees.
Okay, we found a little sheltered area to.
Would you make a survival check, whoever's going to look for your place to camp?
I'll do that. I got a +3 in it.
Okay.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of a city slicker, so.
10.
I'm telling you, survival, and I have a +4 on persuasion, but it has never worked out for me.
Yeah.
Never, like not even once.
Might
It's funny.
Might be the canonically, it might be the challenge of being the only silver dragonborn for 1,000 miles in every direction. Okay.
Just 10.
So you're gonna have yourself a good sleep, and that is happening. There we go. Your pedo clock rolls. And you have an uninterrupted evening. You rise the next day and continue your journey in the direction of Shota. This time, I'd like. Now you're at an area where the map is useful-ish to point you in the right direction, but it's not like there's a road out here. You're literally trekking through the wilderness, trying to find crudely sketched landmarks from this map. So what I'm going to want is for somebody to make a survival check to sort of navigate here.
I'm gonna try to do that one more time.
Okay.
And remember, you've got your friends with you too, so there may be some ways that you could help each other or other things that you could do. All right.
So just complaining.
It's just like, why are you letting her navigate?
Yeah. So you continue to march on, and at a certain point in the middle of the day, you do come across an area that starts to look more and more marshy, which you kind of get excited about because it looks on the map like there's some marshland, like you're getting close. But parts of them are really difficult to pass through, and so without noticing it, you find yourselves sort of gently turning more and more and more to the west and less and less and less to the south, until as the sort of late afternoon sun is hanging in the sky, you enter a section of forest that no longer looks marshy, and you start to get concerned that maybe you've gone astray. And so when you circle the group up, Potom takes a look at the map, holds it up and kind of looks around, and you all kind of circle up and decide you're a little off course here, and it's not the end of the world. You think you're getting close, but this has wasted some time. You spent a few hours going in the wrong direction.
How far west did we veer? To the point where we're basically just closer to the village at this point, or not?
No, because the village was a couple days' travel to the west from Shota's. But you were headed vaguely in that direction. Then I need... why don't we have one of these to make the perception check for the day here? You pick. Potom or Pando?
Potom.
Potom is going to make the perception check. Okay.
Panda's too distracted by all the nature.
21. That's a good roll. Okay. Well.
And Pando can make our luck.
You don't need a luck roll.
We don't need.
Do I have to refresh this? This thing is killing me. There we go. All right. On your D&D Beyond.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you to pull up your maps function again.
Yeah, how do we do that? Or do we need you to do something first and then...
I had to activate it, and so now I think on your character sheet...
oh, there's like a launch game or something?
There should be something like that. You might have to refresh the character sheet. I don't know. Let me see if I can... Oh, yeah. It's up in the top right-hand corner, there's a little play button, like a little triangle.
Gotcha. Yep.
Next to campaign Tell Us East, it says launch game.
Mm-hmm.
So as you're passing out of an area of these tall grasses and into another section of trees and continuing along the path, Potom, perched up in his little cockpit of the Steel Defender, raises his hand suddenly and says, "I hear something. I don't quite know how to describe it, but it sounds like chewing. There's something up ahead. There's something up ahead in the woods. We need to approach carefully."
Okay. Which direction do you hear, Potom?
Are you seeing the map?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, this might be a good time for us to take a quick break if you guys want, like a snack or refill your beverage or anything like that.
To where we are right now, I mean, it is really just sort of like housekeeping stuff of the bigger story.
Okay.
Okay.
That sounds good to me.
I don't think that it actually anything that Potom's got to say to Sendek is it's not pertinent to, I guess, where we are at the moment. At least I don't think so.
That's all good. So
I was just going to say really quick, so we made a decision we came across these people that have been attacked by ghouls that just randomly came out of the wound, out of the wound, and we made the decision to keep going to Shota instead of going to the village that was attacked, just because, we're just trying to go direct line to Upido was sort of the thought. Let's see if Shota can help us in any way, just with information or whatever.
That seems very much like something that Potom would have levied for.
Mm-hmm.
The whole just falling back on the sometimes people die.
Yeah.
Well, it was the whole discussion was is that the place to enter? That happened because Upido was there, maybe around there, sent him out anyway.
Yeah, so just a little bit of specifics. These folks were essentially like coming up the road. They were refugees from a hunting village out in the wilderness, west of Shota's place, but not in the wound. And their village was overrun by a swarm of ghouls, which they were clear was like an extremely unusual event. So this is a village that was accustomed to dealing with threats from the wound from time to time, but almost universally those threats would come at night. And this was a pack of probably around 20 ghouls that attacked the village in broad daylight and sort of wiped them out. So this is
it seems like something has gotten the wound pretty perturbed.
Yeah, exactly right. So the party spent some time healing up that group and sending them on their way back to the Maib, and then continued. You left the road a little over a day ago and headed south directly towards the wound, but most recently on this, what should have been your final day's travel, or what you thought would be your final day's travel to Shota's residence, you got a little off track and went what you think is out of your way west, a couple hours further than you had planned to. And before you were able to get yourself sort of back on mark, we rolled for you, Potom. You rolled the perception check for this day's travel. You heard some noises in the woods up ahead. So if you want on your character sheet to launch the maps function, if you remember where that is, it's up in the top right. There's a little like triangle play button.
Yeah.
and you'll be able to join us in the encounter map here. And right now what you have is, we're in sort of late midday, but you were headed from the top left-hand corner of the map to the bottom right-hand corner of the map. That's the direction you were proceeding. And there's a much thicker, denser area of woods here that you were headed into, so a lot of it is in shadow right now. But Potom, what you think you hear up ahead somewhere in those shadows, it sounds like almost noisy eating.
Great.
Is it like wet eating or like crunching?
Yeah,
or
a little
like...
of both. It's sort of a little bit of crunching and a little bit of
Slurping.
Slurping.
Yeah, okay, that's appetizing.
Like eating soup slurping, or
No,
Like flesh.
like if somebody was crunching down, like eating soft shell crabs. Like if somebody was speed eating a giant platter full of soft shell crabs.
Oh, excellent.
I do love soft shell crabs.
I actually, no, I would like. I think we're about to attack me.
And behind, just out of sight around the corner, you see Alex.
You guys gotta get in here. These soft shell crabs are amazing.
I like it.
Well, Air is immediately on edge because she has like a hair trigger, as we know,
Mm-hmm.
and she tries to stealthily move towards the noise.
Okay. Do you have access to move your token?
I do. I'm not. What would be what would be like an appropriate amount to move? I'm trying to think.
Well, each of these squares is 5 feet.
And
So you could move
sneaky
6.
in half. Well, I don't. Well, I'm trying to be sneaky.
Oh yeah, fair. I think you could move to the perimeter of the woods here.
Okay.
And why don't you roll a stealth check for me?
Okay. Well, yeah. My character's actually terrible at stealth. Believe it or not.
A 3.
No, you didn't
Yeah.
lie.
Well, it's 1 + 2, and it's disadvantage, so I don't think I'll roll lower than 1. So 3, yes.
Yeah. All right. So Air,
Clank, clank, clank.
hearing Potom's warning, Air
Rushes.
raises her hand and like crouches down a little bit like a video game character and sort of creeps forward.
The doot, 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 doot.
And actually, I think
does that? Yeah, it makes that noise.
is
that noise.
fairly quiet up until the moment where she leans against one of these trees, and just the clang of her armor against the tree.
Yeah.
She forgot there was plating on the back too.
Yeah, there's that.
And so, time to clear off some fog of war here.
Was that a good? You think that was a good spot? Yeah.
So you do get a good view into this sort of shady area, but right away, Air, you see out in front of you, where the trail continues, a trio of ghouls surrounding what looks like the remnants of, or a body, and they are just going to town on it.
Right.
Like they're pushing each other out of the way to try to get the juiciest bites. They're tearing at it with their long fingernails and pulling entrails out and just shoveling this down. One is crunching through the foot, just kind of crunching through the bones. And they don't notice you.
Oh, lucky us.
Unfortunately, the 3 ghouls
Oh.
at the bottom of the map
Oh, okay.
do. They hear that clang and they turn up from whatever they were munching on,
Right.
and face you. And they sort of let out a hungry-sounding howl that sort of rattles in their chests. And now I'm gonna ask everybody to roll for initiative, please.
Okay.
Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Will you also add a token for the
Steel Defender.
Exocon?
Yep.
Yeah. Even though at the moment, so far in the journey, I've kind of been lost in thought, down a literal rabbit hole, as I've been thinking about bunnycorn dens. and how they might be interconnected. It's a little side project of mine.
Oh, bunnicorns.
Oh, look at that. 21.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Air's a little flustered by her noise making. She only rolled a 5.
I rolled a 1. So
Oh.
That's just for initiative, though, right?
Yeah, I'll get all the bad rolls out of the way is the goal.
That was a 1 for you, Freya?
That was a 1 for Freya.
Okay.
Do you not get to add anything to that? Oh, maybe because you have no
It was
dex
just
or something?
initiative, right?
Yeah, just initiative.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
am I the
Pando...
weird one that gets to add stuff to my initiative?
Pando's got a
Oh, do
20.
you?
Yeah, I get +2 to my initiative.
Oh, weird.
I think it's because of my dexterity.
Oh, I'm gonna remove you, Freya, and then add you back
Yeah, do
because
that.
now look at you with your cool Dragonborn
Oh,
token.
There
yes,
she
that looks
is.
cool.
Yeah.
You deserved better than a dark
a
silhouette.
shadow.
Yeah.
Freya, nobody puts Freya in a corner. Nobody.
That is a cool token.
And I don't have access to any tokens.
Gotta pay up.
For the they got a lot of ideas about what I'm gonna pay for. What do I have access to?
A
Anything?
shadowy one is fine. Just
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, Steel Defender might not be around for too much longer, so...
Didn't we find one before, like Construct or something, or do I just make it up?
Maybe.
Robot or something.
Robot.
Robot.
A robot?
40.
Keg robot.
8 tiles.
What did we call it?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't. I just searched for robot, and there's a keg robot.
Nice.
7, 8.
Oh
Keg
yeah.
Robot.
There you go. There's your keg robot.
Oh yeah, hey, look,
Right.
that's great.
Burp, burp, burp.
Beep boop.
Beep boop. I'm a robot. All right, very good. So we have our initiative rolled, and we are going to start this. So, Potom, I think this makes good narrative sense because you're the one whose keen ears detected the munching
Oh, sorry.
to begin with.
I found an even better one, but that's okay.
What is it?
Animated armor.
Oh, great! Yeah.
That looks like a cool. That looks like a Steel Defender. But maybe it's more different than.
Oh yeah, that's great. I mean, I do kind of like.
And actually, that is sort of how I'm using it right now. So
Yeah, I do kind of like the keg robot. So I'm sorry to see him go, but
More thematically correct or
Yeah.
more world appropriate, lore appropriate.
there we go.
okay, so I'm kicking this thing off.
Yes.
All right. With the understanding that Potom is in this exocomp at the moment, we're going to move 8. So the exocomp is going to use its movement to move 8 spots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's. Actually, I think that 7 is going to be just fine.
Dang, that's a fast robot.
Oh, can you go? You can go diagonal.
Well, it's 40. I mean, he's got a 40-foot range, so
Yeah, it's fast
yeah,
robot.
it's a fast robot.
And the ghouls are moving.
So I'm just putting them in a grid because I just had them sort of haphazard.
Okay, well then, I am moving 8 here. We'll have the exocomp do. Yeah, I should probably complete the exocomp's turn first. So we'll have the exocomp use its punch movement towards the ghoul to the just directly to the bottom of the exocomp at the moment.
Okay.
And if I remember correctly,
I dubbed the Ghoul A.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Force empowered rend. Attack modifier to hit. 1d8 plus proficiency bonus. Spell attack modifier. And that is now from here. So. My attack modifier. Sorry, I'm familiarizing myself with +3. All this and this. How does a 22 do for that first ghoul?
22 definitely hits.
Okay, 1d8 plus 3. 5 points of damage from that first guy.
Okay.
That's the exocomp's turn. Potom will then jump out of the exocomp and do a flanking maneuver there. And we will attack. Ghoul A with our Warhammer.
Okay.
How does a 21 do?
That hits.
10 points of damage.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, I guess I get to do that at advantage, right? Because he's flanked.
Yep.
We'll just see what, just in case. Oh yeah, no, that first one was good. Okay. And since I get a second attack per turn, we will do that all over again.
That also hits.
21 is what we're going with. And oh no. I messed it up. Let's see. It was a two-handed is a 1d10 plus 2. Is that what my last roll said?
I think that's right, yeah.
Okay, because I just got rid of my Warhammer by mistake.
Whoops.
Okay, 1d10 plus 2. An additional 4 points of damage.
Okay. All right, you, the Steel Defender clanks up to this group of ghouls, slams one brutally. You jump down and give it 2 good wallops with your hammer, and it is largely pulped, but still moving in its disgusting undead way. It is still animate. Pando is up next. I'm always open to suggestions about what you think Panda would do, but
Go Pando!
I think she's definitely going to,
Turn into a bear.
Yeah, turn into a bear or something.
seems
or a wild
right.
hog. At this point, she could go for a wild hog.
She could now, yeah.
Oh
right.
my god, a wild hog would be killer.
She is going to use her action then to take on the shape of a brown bear. And no. I mean a black bear. I don't think she's got brown bear. I could be wrong about that.
Some kind of bear.
She's got some kind of bear. All right. And then she is going to charge forward here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And do some attacky.
Tacky thingies.
All the good druid powers require you to have lots of stat sheets ready to go.
Yep, you have to have spreadsheets and reference materials.
Yep. All right, 2 attacks, one with bite and one with claws. So she's going to rage into this ghoul B with her bite attack, which is at a +3 to hit. That is a 9, which misses. And her claw attack, also at a +3 to hit. 19, which hits. So her claws are going to do 2d4 slashing damage to this critter. Five plus 2, 7 points of damage to Ghoul B with some Pando Bear Claws.
Woohoo.
Although I should not have let her attack because she used her action to wild shape.
Oh.
Oh, wait.
But you can still...
Oh, no, she's fancy.
She can do bonus action?
Combat wild shape. You can use your wild shape as a bonus action, and you can use a bonus action to expend a spell slot to heal during your wild shape. Yeah, so she's good.
OP.
So she, yes. So she bonus action, wild shaped, ran up, did her attack. Oh, is that you, Katie?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I clicked out.
Okay, very good. So that is Pando's turn. Next.
Do you like that flash of Dan?
It did.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Mute myself.
Katie, check your texts for a second.
Now it is the ghoul's turn. The ghoul swarm is going to attack.
Oops.
Ghouls want to eat flesh, so they're going to focus on the fleshiest things near them. Ghoul A is going to attempt a claw attack on you, Panda, or on you, Potom, I mean. That is a 20 to hit.
Wow, those things hit.
Well, it rolled a 16.
Yeah, that works.
So that helps. You will take 2d4 slashing damage. So that's 6 points of slashing damage to you, Potom. And you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
Is this a... this isn't against magic, is it?
No.
Oh, I don't have a con save against magic anyway. All right. 24?
You're good.
Is that save?
Yep. So you are not paralyzed by the ghoul's claw poison.
Jeez.
Good little fortuitous rock gnome.
Yeah. But you did take a little slashy damage.
Yeah.
Ghoul B, that has just been raked by bear claws, is going to turn and attack Pando with its claws. That is... Oops. Sorry, we got to roll the hit first. There we go. That is a 7, which misses the bear. And Ghoul C is going to... let's see. Even it attacks Potom, odd it attacks the bear. That is even. So it's going to attack you, Potom. Ghoul C rolls to hit with claws. That is, again, a 7, so no dice.
Are they receiving a flanking bonuses at all, or no?
No, they do not.
Too dumb.
They don't have pack tactics. Critters have to have pack tactics to get that. or intelligent creatures, I would
Yeah.
give it to. All right, these ghouls up here, though, are going to abandon their meal and come get some fresh meat. The ghouls have a speed of 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Come and get me.
Ghoul D is going to try to slash with claws. Natty 1. Oh, no, that's a 7, but still 11 is a miss, I think. Ghoul E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gonna attack the bear. That is 13 to hit. What's our bear armor class?
I think it's, isn't it? What was
11. So
Yeah,
the
I
bear
was
is
gonna
gonna
say.
take damage here. Pando bear takes 8 points of slashing damage.
It's a good chunk of damage. These are tough. These are tough ghouls.
Leaves
They
her
are
at
tough ghouls.
11 in her bear form. And then Ghoul F is not going to make it to anyone, so it's going to go 5, 10, 15, 20,
And scream.
25,
Menacingly.
30, and then it's going to dash 5, 10, 15, 20, 25.
Oh dang.
But that's its turn. Just moving. Air, you are up and have ghouls on either side of you.
Yeah, that's right. How air, just like
Ghouls
how
to
air
the
likes
left
it.
of me. Ghouls to the right.
Yeah. Air is going to cast Hex as a bonus action
Okay.
and target Ghoul D. And something that I don't think has ever mattered, but I should be doing is as part of Hex, you get to select an ability score, and then all skill checks made with that ability score are at a disadvantage.
Okay.
And she's going to select Dexterity.
Got it.
I don't think they do anything that requires a roll for Dexterity, but we'll see.
Yeah, that doesn't hurt. Doesn't hurt to put it on there.
So yeah, and then she's going to attack twice.
All right.
So first roll, 18.
18 hits.
There we go.
Ghoul D.
1 second. Ooh, 8 plus 14 plus. Wait a second, I gotta do another d6. So 14 plus a d6.
Whoa.
Because it's a necrotic. So 14 damage plus 3 necrotic. For a total of 17. Oh shoot! It's necrotic. Oh jeez, I don't know if does it do anything with the ghouls. I mean, think about that. Maybe.
You see, it seems to do a lot of damage
Oh,
to
okay.
this ghoul. Yeah, you slash a big chunk of its lower body off. It's still clawing at you,
Okay,
but you did a ton of damage.
Good thing I get 2 attacks in a turn. So
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna be
Yeah, there.
15.
15 hits a ghoul.
That's 11 plus 2 necrotic.
Okay. One ghoul down as you slash enough of it away that it can no longer rise and move against you. Do you want to move at all, or are you done with your turn?
I will. I will move down and risk the attack of opportunity.
Okay. That is Ghoul F that you walked away from. Ghoul F is going to take a bite attack. Attempt a bite attack. That is a
You're
10.
gonna bite me as I walk away?
That is a 10 to hit, however, so I don't think that works.
No good. No dice.
No dice. All right.
Woohoo!
Uh,
Good start. Good start.
Then Freya, it is your turn.
All right, I am going to rage and come right up here to
Yeah, rip
attack
it
that
apart.
guy. Hold on. And I'm going to go back. Where is it? I'm going to use my Morning Star.
Okay.
15.
15 hits.
12 points of damage.
Oh, nice. All right. Yeah, you crush this thing's rib cage in. Your Morningstar actually gets stuck in the sort of hollow, gooey rib cage a little bit, but it is still slavering. These ghouls are they're humanoid, but they have fingernails that are probably 5 inches long.
Mm-hmm.
They have teeth that look like they've been filed down to points, and they have very long tongues, like tongues that extend a good foot and a half out of their faces, and just sort of slap at the air. Not like a snake's tongue, more like it's out of its own control. It's moving. It's not like it just flops around when they move their head. It's moving, but they don't seem to be moving with any purpose.
Okay.
But this thing is still standing.
Well, we'll hit him again.
All right.
For 15 again.
Yep, that'll do it.
And 11 points of damage.
11 is enough as the second ghoul falls.
Okay.
And you have a little movement left if you want.
Yeah, so I used 15, I think. I have 40.
Mm-hmm.
So 3, yeah. I have 5 more. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Okay.
All right. Very good. That takes us to the top of the order. Potom, it is your turn.
Okay, so I reloaded my Warhammer, and I get a +7. I said a +2 before. Will you assign an additional 5 points of damage to the Ghoul A, please?
Sure. +7, huh? Wow.
It's my attack bonus is my intelligence modifier, which is what's really great instead of strength.
It's your intelligence modifier for damage?
Yeah, that's how the Artificer works. It uses intelligence instead of strength.
That's wild.
Or strength. Yeah.
That is wild. Well, that takes care of that guy.
Great.
He.
The payoff there is that guy got an attack that shouldn't have happened, but whatever. We'll just let that slide.
All right.
So we'll turn to Ghoul B, which at this point, and we will hit him with a Warhammer attack, which is still at advantage, right? Because he's flanked by multiple.
Oh yeah.
18.
Okay.
Wow, are we good at combat now?
I mean,
9 points of damage for that ghoul.
It's also possible that this was not the most difficult encounter.
Whoa! Don't try to belittle our accomplishments.
I mean, you guys are doing so good. It might be time for Adult Red Dragon. I think.
Okay.
I think go for it.
Oh god. 26 for the second attack.
Yeah, that's gonna hit.
Oh my god, these are like air numbers.
And 14 points of damage.
He only rolls over 20 for everything he rolls.
Yeah, what the heck?
I know.
Nice. That is going to take care of Ghoul B.
Perfect. My Warhammer attack has a +10 to it.
That's insane.
So now that Potom has chosen that the way of the fist is the way to go.
I have a +9, and I thought I was
to choose
breaking
that,
the game.
especially on inanimate objects, which aren't people. Okay, perfect. The exocomp. Oh wait, I will move. Oh, come on. I will then move here to end my turn. The exocomp will take a step forward, and
Remember when Potham used to use his like phaser and it would miss all the time?
Yeah, I do remember that.
I sure do. Experimental technology, right?
Yeah, I want us to think a little bit about, or yeah, I'll have you think a little bit about Potham, like how this very cool substitution of your intelligence modifier for your strength modifier plays out in the game, right? Because it's not like Potham suddenly got smarter and that means he can swing a warhammer harder. Like,
no,
I'm thinking there's like.
I think it's the way that he swings it is in a unique physics way that he knows how to wield the weapon in a physics sort of way that would be the most damaging.
Mm-hmm. It's all levers and pulleys, fulcrums.
Right. That if you use the momentum of the swing in an upward sort of motion, it has the whole propensity of coming from the peak down through and then up into the individual, is what's actually it's just a whole physics problem.
Increase the moment arm.
Yeah.
Added some. Yeah.
I like the idea also that maybe your like the armor that you described to us when you first introduced Potham, of like the tools all over it and that kind of stuff, that was more for color, that maybe that's evolving over time too, where there are little like little add-ons and additions that you've made where you're starting to see some more of that, the learning that you got from the exocomp. Like maybe there's some gears attached to your arm, some reinforcement things and stuff like that, and you've got some of your little gems glowing in here to help empower some of this. But I think that's it's obviously a super cool power, especially since you got an epic magic item that gave you demigod level intelligence.
Yeah. And I think that once we level up and Potham goes through this next transition that's coming, that things are going to be a whole lot cooler. So you're kind of seeing like the precursors. Like at the moment, you're right that Potham's got sort of the attachment on his arm that gives him that extra little flick of the wrist. Riding in the exocomp, it makes him look like he is wearing movable armor, that is really how I kind of see Potham progressing. That he has those sorts of just wise little gadgets, I guess.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay, so the exocomp is going to use its force empowered rend, which is this Balmire. Okay. 20 plus 6. That is 13 and 19.
That hits.
And the 8 plus 3.
Eric's asking for a recount, an audit of this character. Heals better than me, fights better than me, has a whole second robot friend.
Yeah, wait a minute.
There's a lot going on.
4 points of damage for that ghoul.
Got it. All right. Next is
doesn't even like to fight. He's
a pacifist.
Oh no, he's tasted blood rage now.
He's a lover now.
Well, I mean, these are ghouls, so we can argue that they're not actually people any longer. Bottom has always attacked beasts.
Pando Bear is going to make the multi-attack on
The
Ghoul E, I think. It's going to turn and face Ghoul E. So first attack is a 3 plus 3 is 6. That's going to miss. And then the claws, 14 plus 3 is 17. That hits. So that claw attack is going to do 3, 7, 9 points of slashing damage to the ghoul. And now we are back to Ghoul's turn. Ghoul A is dead. Ghoul B is dead. Ghoul C is going to attempt to claw pot him again. That is a natural 1, and we'll miss. Ghoul E is going to slash at air.
Come at me.
With claws. That is a 19 to hit.
Dang, that does hit.
And so you will take 7 points of slashing damage and make a Constitution saving throw.
Is this this isn't like a charmed effect or anything, is it?
No, it is not.
A con saving throw?
Yes.
Okay, I have to make another 11 for my con saving throw.
That is good enough.
Good.
It's a DC 10.
I have to make another con, a concentration.
Oh, for Hex?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it is an
Oh,
advantage.
but the creature you hexed is dead. It's gone.
It doesn't matter. I still it lasts for like 8 hours, and I can just move it.
Oh, and you move it around. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yep. Good to go. That's all the ghouls, and it's your turn, Air.
Well, I use my bonus action to assign Hex to the ghoul in front of me, Ghoul E.
Okay.
And then I'll attack. $13. Wow, I'm like not rolling great.
13 still hits.
Not rolling great compared to Potom.
Right.
I came to play.
Yeah, clearly. So 14 plus 4.
Okay, that is plenty. That ghoul was already torn up a little bit by a bear. You come in and finish the job.
Am I able to move and then use my second attack?
Yeah, definitely.
I moved to the last ghoul there. Can't use Hex though, unfortunately. Can't move Hex. But I'll still attack. Ooh, 28. Finally, that's now a real turn, a real roll.
Definitely hits.
So 5 plus 16, or 16 plus 5.
Oh, wow.
So 21 points of damage.
Eat it.
Yeah, it does. It does. The ghouls.
I only got to smash 1.
Yeah.
I just cleaned up. Air
You
just
did. Thanks, Air.
Air got jealous of Potom's
I know, Air's like,
fighting
what?
ability, and she felt like she had to prove something.
Yeah.
I loosened it for you.
Yeah. You handle the ghouls rather quickly.
Air's actually running after that. She's like running around looking for another ghoul that she wants desperately. She wants to get the trifecta, the triple kill.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. I thought, like, when I clicked on Rage that this automatically did this, but I think that this, obviously, moving forward, this is... so one of my things with Rage is that I have 2+ damage.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that it automatically adds it in. I thought that it did.
Yeah, I don't think it does either.
So I should be adding 2+ damage to everything. Okay.
Yep.
Well...
Yeah.
I'm going to listen to all of our old episodes and go and retcon everything, okay?
That creature died.
Should have been dead.
No. Oh, look, I killed everything.
Yeah.
D&D Beyond has gotten way better than when we first started using it. But there are still those little quirks.
Here's the other thing that I have got to remember, too, that I have not done and that I have to remember, is that I have advantage on saving throws when I'm raging. So if I go down when I'm raging, I have advantage on saving
Death
throws.
saving throws?
Well, it just
On
says,
all saving throws?
It says saving throws.
What's mean
So I
death
don't
saving
know
throws,
what
right?
that
It's some kind of saving throw, but not all saving throws.
Not all
when
saving
you're
throws.
raging. That would be a wildly potent
Yes.
ability.
It says you gain advantage on strength checks and saving throws, not attacks.
Got it. Strength saving throws.
Strength
So
saving
when you're raging,
throws.
you're very strong. So
Oh, yeah,
when you
yeah.
try to do
Oh, yeah, I know that.
strong boy stuff, strong girl stuff, you get advantage. Yeah, that's
Okay.
an excellent.
Strong lady.
Strong lady. Strong dragon.
So there was a commoner over there. Was that commoner alive?
No,
No.
very much
Oh,
not
okay.
alive.
It was like wet.
All right,
More of a corpse than a commoner.
Yes.
Yeah,
sure. I didn't know if they
Yeah.
were just eating on him while he was in
Hanging
a
out.
conscious state, or
that was more just meant to be representative. There are actually a couple of corpses in this little clearing that have been largely consumed, but where that commoner token was just the most intact corpse
got it.
of this
Bottom
group.
would like to just kind of survey the area and the corpses and just kind of try to deem where they could have possibly come from, and two, if we'll take the valuable stuff.
Okay, make an investigation check.
You know what? Got
Air
it.
cuts off a ear of the ghoul to add to her trophy collection.
You got it. Yeah, you can have a ghoul ear.
I'm gonna add it to my. I'm gonna pin it to my hat.
You should
How does that 26
you should
do?
take a nail. You should take
26
a
is-
finger with those
26 is
5-inch
pretty
nails.
good.
Some of that's gross.
I'm very thorough.
Tricorn hat. I got harpy feather. I have a fire elemental stone.
Is the poison gone from the nails?
Um,
Unless they
Don't
die?
you want to risk it?
It's not. I don't know that it's technically a poison, but if you want to harvest some ghoul fingernails and try to
Stab people with them?
poke people with them, I'd be open to that.
Okay, yeah,
Um,
I think I'll do that.
And play with stuff like that.
I do have a bag that I can throw them in.
Yeah. So, Potom, a quick survey of the area reveals to you that these were just sort of looks like hunters. Your
Yeah, very good
best
hunters.
Your best guess is that they might actually be from the same village that you all encountered refugees from earlier. But this group, it looks like, didn't make it to the road before they were overtaken. These bodies look to be a day or so old, based on how much the ghouls have consumed. And there's very little of any value on any of these folks, unless any of you have an interest in a short bow or a dagger. But that's what these guys are carrying. There's probably, I would guess, let me roll for it instead of guessing. There is one silver piece worth of copper coins between the mushy bodies in
Ew.
this clearing.
Cool. Potom will hand those copper pieces to Air and say, "Put this in your bank box."
Here's some bloody copper coins.
Air just. She can't say no. So she
can't say
just
no.
she throws her cloak over her hands, so she doesn't have to touch them, and then
Nice.
takes it.
It was just like Potom's sort of like nudging of, "I understand that you're putting money in this box."
Right.
Air pretends not to understand what he was
Yeah.
referring to.
So you take a silver piece worth of coppers there.
Okay.
Yeah. So now that you've kind of cleaned up this group, it is again late afternoon. You kind of try to get your bearings. Anybody who wishes to can make a survival check, and if you can think of any interesting ways to help yourselves to get reoriented on your path, you can certainly do that.
I think we just head out to Shota. Let's get going.
Well, my point is, you got a little turned around.
Oh, we got a little turned around.
Which is where you ended up running into the. So you're not perfectly sure of where Shota is at this point.
Yeah,
so
okay.
So you usually give us a choice between a survival or an investigation check in these sort of situations.
Is that what I usually do?
Yeah, sometimes.
I think
because I would imagine, just to make the argument, I would imagine that Potom could very much lay down an investigation and know the direction that they came from, or that we came from, and determine from that direction which way is the best way to go.
Well, so Freya has a +3 on survival, and so she's rolled twice to very poorly, even with the +3, to get us to where we are now.
So here's what I'll say. I will. Getting yourself oriented in the wilderness once you're lost is exactly what the survival skill is for. However, if Potom wants to leverage his vast intellect to try to gather some clues about where they might be right now to help kind of pinpoint and support it, with a good investigation roll, I will give one of you advantage on your survival check.
Oh, okay. That's what I was going to ask, if we could have advantage on that. So maybe a good investigation roll on Potom's part, and
how does the 26 do for a good investigation?
Yeah, that works.
26 is very good.
So then I could.
We came from that way.
Okay, I'm gonna roll survival at advantage. Are we good with that?
Checked the geolocating log in the exocomp and pinpointed where on the map you currently are. So roll one more time a survival check for me.
At advantage, right?
Freya. Yep.
Fortunately, at advantage, because that's terrible.
All this wheeling and dealing with the
Wow, it's so bad.
Still bad.
So bad.
So much slack.
I mean, I rolled bad 4 times in a row.
What is your best score?
12.
12. All right. So after Potom helps you pinpoint on the map where you are, you all turn about and start heading back in the direction of Shota's residence. But as I mentioned earlier, the map is not super precise. It's very simple. So you feel confident you're heading generally in the right direction, but it takes you back into some rather thick marshland. And as you get a little deeper and a little deeper into the marsh, the sun is starting to set. And you have a kind of a decision to make, I'll say, as a party, which is you can push on, and you believe if your guess with the map is accurate, you believe you could make it to Shota's tonight, but it will be after dark, and you'll be marching through this marshland at nighttime. Or you could stop here for the night and set up camp while there is still some dry ground on which to do it.
Pine has remounted its.
What did you say?
Yeah, we couldn't hear you.
Sorry. I thought that we were using the mic in my earbuds. Potom has remounted his exocomp. And votes for pushing on.
All right, then.
Air's always trying to push on.
I think we should push on. Freya definitely, needs to push on.
There's an evil, awful, motherly spirit that's on the run.
Right. Oh, God.
That's true. All right, so as you march on, the second question I will ask you is, are you activating any lights or lighting torches or doing anything to light your way as the sun sets and you march through these marshes in the dark?
Dark vision.
Dark vision for Air.
dark vision for Potom, but he does.
It sucks not having dark vision.
From his in amongst the different little cubbies in the exocomp, he pulls out a small orb, gives it a little shake, and it emits a light for a little 5-foot light, and he hands it to Freya.
Who cannot see.
It also sort of smells a little nice. I'm going to just combine the two powers and put them together.
Oh, nice aromatherapy.
It's a first level
Nice.
thing called magical tinkering.
I also have a cantrip.
The object sheds a bright light for a 5-foot radius and a dim light for an additional 5 feet.
All right, excellent. Okay, so you all march on, and let me just switch to this other. There we go. Back to my friend Shota here. You march on, and as you continue through the marshland, about an hour and a half later, the ground starts to become covered in at first a relatively thin, but then thicker and thicker mist. And the further ahead you go in the direction that you believe Shota's residence to be, the higher the mist climbs until it is at your knees, or I should say at the knees of your crickets. And at some point, it is riding at the saddle level of your crickets. So all that is visible above the mist are the antennae at the edges of your crickets' heads, and basically all of you from the waist up. So it's kind of a weird and actually a little bit silly look. It kind of might, depending on your mood, make you giggle a little bit, as it looks like the four of you are legless torsos just floating across gliding across this mist, with some antennae out in front of you, clicking around. Your crickets don't seem bothered by this, but the dense mist is a feature that makes you think you now know what the little cloud shapes on the map might have been in reference to, and so once you remember that,
you're like, we're on it.
Yeah, it gives you some hope that you are close. Let's see. Potom.
Yes, sir.
I would like you to make an Arcana check, please.
You got it.
And anybody else who would like can make a Perception check.
Oh, as far as Arcana checks go, that was very low for Potom. 14.
Okay.
Well, I got a natural 1 for my perception.
I got a 17, actually.
Hey, 17 is pretty
Yeah.
good. All right.
I've been rolling terribly, Joe.
So, the only person that... Well, I should roll for Pando, I guess. That's a 6. The only person that notices anything in particular is Freya. And Freya, I think the reason you notice it is because your sword suddenly sort of... The sword itself doesn't move, and you don't get a true physical sensation from the sword, but you suddenly feel like a pulse of what you could only describe as psychic energy, maybe, from the sword. The sword gets your attention, even though you're not holding it in your hand. And when you place your hand on the hilt, you hear the voice of your now familiar, you think, ancestor in your mind, who says, "Daughter of my blood, there are foul magics stirring in the mist around us. They see. And that's all you get out of Asmund Kimba right now.
I think that something definitely knows that we're here. There's something
What?
I missed. Something knows that we're here. It's watching us.
How are the crickets reacting?
Crickets are just rolling. Yeah,
Okay, they're not concerned.
they seem comfy. They're doing what you told them. Tell them to do.
They're at home in the mist.
This
Yeah.
is an evil mist.
Oh,
Okay.
There are things watching us in this mist.
Okay.
You're like, fine.
things
Well-
watching us or a thing
Harry's like, whatever.
Whatever. Just. Yeah.
Things, multiple things, or a thing?
No.
Because if we're heading to a hedge witch and something's watching us, don't you think that means that we're getting close?
It's a good sign. We're on the right trail. If someone's watching you, you're doing something right.
Well, just be aware we're watched.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll press on.
All right, you press on. About 30 minutes later, you, whoever's in front, the frontmost cricket. Who is the frontmost cricket?
Air.
Air.
Mhm.
All right.
Cricket is the foremost cricket.
So Air, I forget what your cricket's name is, but
You named it. I think I'm the one situation where you actually named the cricket.
yeah.
That's something dumb.
No, definitely not. Definitely not dumb.
No, it was like the fastest cricket or something.
That seems ridiculous to say.
That's
Wait, I got it. This is why I take notes in a tool I can search.
Yeah. I know that my cricket's name is NX17 or something like that.
Yeah.
Mine is Susan.
Yep, Susan.
Okay, you know what? Actually, my cricket's probably not named dumb.
Mert.
Mert.
Mert the speed cricket. Yeah.
Speed cricket.
Mert the speed cricket.
That's a pretty dumb name.
Susan the battle cricket.
Mhm.
Mert the speed cricket, and NX01 the utility cricket.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Anyway,
NX01.
as you're going along through the mists, Mert comes to a sudden stop.
Okay.
And you're not really sure what is going on with Mert until you lean forward a little bit and you see that you have come to a place where a low stone wall lies in front of you.
Oh,
It
okay.
is low enough that the mist covers most of it, but once you look a little closer and with your dark vision, you can see that the wall extends for 30 feet or so in either direction to the left and the right. And at this point, as all of you peer ahead in the mist, or past the mist, you can see that the mist stops at the wall. And beyond the wall, it is no longer misty, although it is dark. And you see what looks like a very attractive glade.
Mm-hmm.
It's a yard,
Mm-hmm.
basically. And sitting in the center of this probably half-acre yard is a small stone cottage with a little thatched roof and what looks like a little bit of smoke coming out of a chimney. It's got a pleasant little front door, like a round door, like Hobbit style.
Yeah.
In front. Again, it's moonlit here, but you can see some little garden rows out back. There are several fruit trees scattered around this yard. And once you look around a little bit, you can see that to your left, about 45 feet or so around the perimeter of this stone wall, is a small wooden gate.
Air just encourages Mert to step over or jump over the short wall.
Okay. Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Oh, okay.
And I'll do one for Mert.
19.
19's good. Mert just rolled a nat 20. So
So take that, DM.
so you save. You save. However, that means you take half damage
Oh, god dang it, really?
as bounding over the low stone wall, arcs of electricity leap up and
Well, you're welcome, everyone. I found the trap.
blast.
I just got tased.
I'm so angry because I have
just
that.
got tased
I have
by a
that
hedge
dumb.
witch.
I have that dumb wand of secrets I should have used.
Oh.
You do have a wand of secrets. That's true. The good news is instead of 12 points of lightning damage, you will take only 6 points of lightning damage, as will Mert. Mert is injured.
No.
Mert doesn't have a lot of hit points. He's alive, but injured, and he sort of sinks to the ground on the other side, and is kind of twitching. He's not in a great way.
Oh,
I think we're gonna go down to the gate and knock.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so as the rest of you make your way around the edge to the gate, Air, you hear a small sound behind you, and you turn from caring for Mert and look up, and standing in front of you is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You think human?
Mm-hmm.
Hard to say. I would say the reason you think woman is because she's deeply wrinkled, and you've not seen a lot of elves who reach that great an age where their faces are lined that deeply. This woman has salt and pepper hair, probably more salt than pepper. It's well kept, but long and kind of stringy. Probably hangs well past her waist. She's about your height, so not an incredibly tall woman. And she is dressed in sort of many layers of overlapping, I'm going to call it like patchwork. So it at a glance, it looks to you from out here in the dark woods, like this is a muumuu made entirely of dish rags. Mm-hmm. They've just been added on and added on and added on. And there's clearly like a hooded cowl, but it's not pulled up over her head. She probably at some point was a very striking woman.
They'll say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But again, at this point is very aged, or appears very aged. She has eyes that have a subtle purple glow to them, even in the darkness. You can't tell what color her eyes are, but there is literally light coming out of her eyes. And she is holding in her right hand a probably 5 foot tall gnarled wooden staff. A sort of oak, perhaps. It's hard to say, but it is. Looks like the wood looks as old as her. It's all twisted and gnarled like that, like an old root. And she's just standing right in front of you, and she kind of quirks an eyebrow, and she says, "Most visitors knock."
Yeah, Air motions towards the wall and says, "Oh, you should look at that. You should probably get that fixed."
Okay, nice. I'm gonna roll something here. Okay. She laughs.
We got it in.
Yeah. She laughs at that. She goes, "A bold child.
Yeah.
Interesting." And then she looks over at the rest of you, and you see just a little flick of her finger, and just as you all approach, the wooden gate in the wall creaks open of its own accord, swings open in front of you to allow you to ride your various and sundry crickets onto the lawn. And as you step into the area, the gate closes behind you, and Shota, who of course this is, turns to all of you and says, "Who are you, and what brings you to my residence?"
Yeah, I think we introduce ourselves, right? I don't think and then we say that a very spirited Noel sent us your way. So you may be able to help.
Murph sent you. Very good. I must say it is later than I usually accept guests.
I see.
But I assume
our mission is of the most importance.
And we apologize for the late hour.
Of course, yes.
We apologize for the late hour.
We have come far, though.
Well, your courtesy is appreciated. I do show preference to those who are polite and respectful. Perhaps we should step inside. And she snaps a finger, and from around behind the stone cottage, something comes loping towards you. And at first glance, in the dark, your first reaction is ghoul. Like there's another ghoul that is attacking.
We're like attack positions.
Yeah. And it's only at the last moment, as you're like pulling your weapons, that this thing comes within the sphere of the light you're holding, Freya. And you see that though it is definitely not a ghoul, it is a man, but he is completely naked, has long hair, like perhaps has never been cut in his life. He's filthy, covered in dirt and mud and who knows what. His fingernails are long and unkempt. His teeth are sort of gross and black. He's got a scraggly long beard and mustache. He just looks like a complete wild man.
Right.
And he comes bounding up, and right as it seems he's about to like leap at you, he instead executes an extremely agile little turn and loops around Shota's feet 3 or 4 times, almost like a dog greeting its master, and then curls up at her feet and looks up, and she says, she looks down at him and says, "Stephen, take care of their mounts, won't you? Be a dear." And
Air doesn't hide her look of disgust.
fair enough. She doesn't acknowledge it, but as soon as she says that, Stephen leaps in the direction of your crickets and starts gathering up their reins and bringing them around the other side of the cottage, where you can see back there are some, not a full-on stables, but like a place where with a little bit of a half roof and some places where they can be taken care of. And he sort of bounds off wildly.
Before Stephen leaves with Air's cricket, Potom will just lay his hands on the cricket and administer a heal wounds.
Okay, very good.
Oh.
Yeah, that quickly seals up the bits of carapace that sort of popped from the heat of the lightning. There's still some char on the outside, but Mert.
It builds character.
Mert seems to be doing much better. At this point, Shota turns and walks in the direction of her cottage. The door opens in front of her, and inside you can see what appears to be sort of a bright, cheery firelight. But as she steps in, she turns, and over her shoulder she says to all of you, she says, come in, step across my hearth and enter what I hope will be a mutually beneficial business relationship.
Air pauses, but she's a little more cautious about stepping over hearths and stuff.
Okay.
Let someone else go first.
Freya will
Bottom
go.
goes first.
All right.
Freya and Bottom.
Potom marches in.
Freya
Freya
first.
afterwards. Pando is in. She's good.
Where am
Blissfully
I?
unaware and in. Yeah.
She autopilots her way
Oh, I
into.
love this house. Oh,
It's
have you lived
beautiful.
here for long?
Who's your decorator?
Yeah. Oh, charming.
Are you looking to sell?
Yes.
I know people.
I know people.
So as you step inside, you are immediately struck by the fact that the inside of this cottage seems larger than the outside would suggest. we will hear more about Shota's residence when we play next. But I think this is a good place for us to leave it for today, as you have found the Hedge Witch. And learned a little bit about some things that are going on outside of the Maib. Pretty good.
I have